Is being a loser a bad thing? It all depends on your perspective. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus shared some insightful thoughts on what we typically chase after in life. While modern society often prizes wealth, fame, and external achievements as the ultimate signs of success, Epictetus considered these pursuits to be insignificant compared to the true treasures that lie within us. He pointed out that constantly seeking achievement and validation prevents us from attaining something far more valuable, and that is the sense of inner peace that remains unaffected by the unpredictable nature of external circumstances, including the opinions of others. Unfortunately, our fear of being labeled as losers drives us to endure unnecessary suffering just to gain others' approval. This is a sad way to live, because by placing our happiness in external goods, we become dependent on them and risk losing our chance at true freedom and contentment. According to Epictetus, we must be willing to let go of what he referred to as lesser things. If this means being seen as a loser by society's standards, then it's a price worth paying. This isn't about neglecting ourselves or inviting harm. Instead, it's about embracing a Stoic viewpoint that encourages us to look within for what truly matters. This perspective shows us a different way to define what's important in life and demonstrates why being perceived as a loser doesn't have to be a negative thing. By shifting our focus from external validation to inner fulfillment, we can live a life of true happiness and freedom, independent of the fickle judgments of society. What is a loser? If we look at the dictionary, a loser is defined as someone who is incompetent or unable to succeed. But what do competence and success really mean? These concepts are highly subjective and can vary greatly depending on who you ask. When is someone considered competent? Some people might see a person as highly capable, while others might view the same person as lacking skills. Similarly, success is a fluid concept. For some, success might mean building and running a small business, like a hair salon. For others, success involves grander achievements, like sending people to another planet. The definitions of competence and success are constantly changing, influenced by the spirit of the times, social contexts, cultural backgrounds, and personal beliefs. Therefore, the idea of being a loser is vague and means nothing more than what society chooses to make of it. In today's consumerist and capitalist societies, the label loser is often tied to the pursuit of external things, particularly money and fame. People tend to have a specific image of what it means to be successful: a well-paying job, an attractive partner, 2.3 kids, and a house with a white picket fence. Others might equate success with having a large social media following and an exciting social circle. But what if you don't fit into this conventional picture of success? Then society might label you as a loser, seeing you as incompetent in acquiring what is generally desired, and thus as having failed in life. Tragically, being labeled a loser is a double blow. Not only are you seen as failing, but you are also ridiculed for it. However, this brings us to an important question. How desirable are these conventional markers of success in the first place, and how bad is it to be ridiculed for not having them? This is where Epictetus's philosophy becomes relevant. He challenges us to rethink our definitions of success and failure, suggesting that true fulfillment comes from within rather than from external validation. By focusing on our own values and inner peace, we can free ourselves from the arbitrary judgments of society and live a more authentic and satisfying life. What do we really want? What makes material possessions, extreme wealth, or Instagram fame so appealing? It's the promise of happiness that drives us to pursue them. We imagine a life where countless people adore us, where we sip cocktails on the beach and rake in likes and comments on social media. It seems like the perfect life, and for a while, it might be. But eventually, we get used to it, and our happiness levels return to their baseline, now with higher expectations and demands. Epictetus didn't value these external goods highly. He saw them as weak, slavish, and most importantly, beyond our control. When we chase wealth and fame, we're chasing things that can be taken away in an instant. Moreover, the pursuit of these things comes with a high cost, a cost many are willing to pay, but at the expense of much more valuable aspects of life. For example, consider someone who wants to win at the Olympic Games. This pursuit, even today, brings immense respect if successful. But Epictetus urges us to consider the sacrifices involved and whether they truly benefit us. He illustrated this with a vivid example. You must conform to rules, submit to a strict diet, refrain from delicacies. Exercise your body whether you want to or not at set times, in all weather conditions. You must forego drinking cold water and sometimes even wine. Essentially, you must surrender to a rigorous regime. Then, in the competition, you might be thrown into a ditch, dislocate your arm, twist your ankle, swallow dust, be whipped, and still lose the victory. So, is it worth it? Is it wise to endure such hardship just for, as Marcus Aurelius put it, the clacking of tongues? Public praise is fickle and can quickly turn into public shame. These things are not consistent, said Epictetus. He emphasized that only things within our control are worth pursuing, such as inner qualities like contentment, joy, right action, tranquility, and the power of restraint. Everything else is overrated and should take a back seat. Epictetus often pointed out the difference between how things appear to us and what they truly are. For instance, a man may see his wife and children as unique and desirable above all others, but they are still just human beings. It's our perception that makes them special to us, not what they inherently are. This logic can be applied to everything external. What makes the things we chase so desirable? Is it the object itself, or is it how we perceive it? We often follow the crowd, wanting what others want simply because everyone else wants it. Conversely, we avoid what others don't want, being a loser. There's nothing inherently wrong with desiring what others desire. In many cases, what the majority pursues can be beneficial for health and well-being. But in many other cases, it's not. It takes wisdom and common sense to determine whether we're better off not pursuing what everyone else seeks. Epictetus valued a state of happiness and freedom above all else, and believed we should be willing to give up anything that impedes it. If that means being seen as a loser by others, so be it. True happiness and freedom come from within, and they are worth any sacrifice. What's so bad about being a loser? Is being a loser truly a bad thing, or do we just see it that way because others tell us it is? Imagine we have enough to meet our basic needs, but not much else. We don't have exciting social circles, romantic partners, social media followers, or prestigious jobs. As a result, people might label us as losers, implying we are somehow inferior to those who make this judgment. Being seen as less by others can be frightening because it directly challenges our egos and the stories we tell ourselves about who we are. But does lacking certain external achievements make someone truly less? Is a rich and famous person inherently better than someone who is poor and unknown? According to Epictetus, this kind of thinking is nonsensical. He said, "These reasonings are unconnected. I am richer than you, therefore I am better. I am more eloquent than you, therefore I am better." The connection is rather this: I am richer than you, therefore my property is greater than yours. I am more eloquent than you, therefore my style is better than yours. But you, after all, are neither property nor style. Our external circumstances don't determine our inner well-being, which is what truly matters from a Stoic perspective. Despite this, we often place immense importance on these external factors, to the point where we sacrifice our happiness and freedom just to be seen as sufficient and not less by others. So, being a loser isn't inherently bad. It's all about how we perceive it. If we see public praise, reputation, and others' opinions for what they are, fickle, unreliable, often worthless, based on delusion and false appearances, and totally beyond our control, we may find it easier to become indifferent to them. When we stop valuing these external judgments, we realize that being labeled a loser isn't terrible at all. In fact, striving too hard not to be seen as a loser is what truly hinders our ability to be happy and free. As Epictetus said, "Let death and exile and all other things which appear terrible be daily before your eyes, but death chiefly, and you will never entertain any abject thought, nor too eagerly covet anything." By keeping our mortality in mind and focusing on what truly matters, we can live more freely and authentically, without being weighed down by the fear of others' judgments. The two paths. No matter which path we choose in life, there's always a price to pay. The real question is, what price are we willing to pay? Epictetus clearly distinguishes between two paths, being a philosopher or being one of the vulgar. Most people choose the latter, which comes at the cost of their inner well-being. They sacrifice their freedom, health, and peace of mind to chase after wealth, praise, and societal approval, participating in the relentless rat race. Choosing the path of a philosopher, however, means prioritizing inner peace and happiness over external rewards. This might mean living a simple, obscure life, without the pleasures and recognition that many strive for. To many, this lifestyle might seem like that of a typical loser. But Epictetus believed that true philosophers value inner tranquility above all else, even if it means not pursuing wealth or status. He illustrated this with a powerful statement. "If you want to improve, reject such reasonings as these. If I neglect my affairs, I'll have no income. If I don't correct my servant, he will be bad. For it is better to die with hunger, exempt from grief and fear, than to live in affluence with perturbation. And it is better your servant should be bad than you unhappy." This might sound extreme, but Epictetus was consistent in prioritizing what he considered truly valuable. To remain unconquerable by external circumstances, we must be willing to let go of everything. Anything external that we cling to wields power over our mental state. Letting go is a tough journey, full of obstacles and little external reward, often met with loss and resistance. Epictetus warned, "You'll have to forego your ease, work hard, leave people behind, be despised by menials, be laughed at, and get crumbs at best when it comes to recognition and position in all affairs. Consider these costs and see if you're willing to pay them to gain peace, freedom, and tranquility. If you're not willing, stay away from philosophy." So, being labeled a loser by others, being laughed at and despised. At first glance, it might seem terrible. The reputation of a loser appears weak and pitiful, but it also has its advantages. It means not conforming to others' rules and retaining the energy that would otherwise be spent on lesser things just to gain approval. In essence, being a loser comes with the benefit of not paying the price for trying not to be one. Ironically, this might make a loser a winner. Drawing from Epictetus's wisdom, we must have the insight to discern what is truly beneficial and the strength to stick to it consistently, disregarding praise, riches, power, and social standing. As Epictetus stated, "Don't wish to be a general or a senator or a consul, but to be free. And the only way to this is a contempt of things not in our own control." In the end, true freedom and happiness come from within, and sometimes that means being willing to be seen as a loser in the eyes of society, to remain true to oneself. If this video has inspired you to rethink your approach to success and happiness, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and subscribe for more insights on living a meaningful life. Together, let's cultivate the wisdom of the Stoics and build a life of true freedom and contentment. Thank you for watching.